Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on where you are and when you're watching this. I'm Gina from thedopebohemian.com, and I'm here to help you prime your brain to break bad habits and mindsets. So I know all of you have heard the saying, stop getting in your own way. There's a reason why people say it, because at some point in life, all of us get in our own way. We're stuck in our heads. We're stuck in these defeating mindsets, these limiting mindsets that are holding us back from the greatness that's within us. And so part of the challenge is, how do I reprogram my brain to do the things I know I need to do without as much resistance? You know, one of the keys to a successful and beautiful life unfolding is to flow with the energy of life. But most people spend their time resisting the flow of life, and that is where suffering comes from. That's where all of this calamity comes from, because you are working against the universe. That is a battle none of us will ever win. And understand that the universe wants you to win. You know why? Because each and every one of us came to this world with a purpose to fulfill in service of humanity. And so the universe will give us everything we need to succeed, but we've got to take the steps, and we've got to also put in the work to align with that beautiful flow of creative energy. So you've got some bad habits. You've got some mindsets that are holding you back. You want to change it. Well, let's get to it. The first thing you need to do is decide and declare that you only want to do what's good for you. I know this seems basic. Why wouldn't I want to do what's good for me? But the reality is, if you look at your life, and everyone has kind of gone through this at some point, where we consciously, this is the crazy part, make decisions that we know are not in our best interest. For instance, you've probably said, I know I shouldn't do this, but, and then you go and proceed to do the thing you know you shouldn't do. That is active self-sabotage. There's also subconscious self-sabotage, where you don't really realize you're doing it, but a lot of times we do. Now, how sad is that? Because when you go against your own interests, when you take shortcuts, who are you shortchanging? Yourself. And so at some point you got to decide, damn, I'm better than that. I want what's best for me. I want everything that's coming to me. Why would I get in my own way? So again, now is the time to make your new I am statements. So if your goal is to be a healthy person, if your goal is to be a successful person, if your goal is to be a disciplined person, you need new I am statements. So you got to stop saying things that are not aligned with who you want to become. So you want to be healthy? I am a healthy person. Don't say I'm trying to eat healthy or I'm trying to be healthy. Say I am healthy. You know why? When you say you're trying implies that you don't know what you're doing, or you're almost, that's where that imposter syndrome comes in, because you feel like I'm trying to be something I'm not. When you tell yourself I am, your brain's like, oh, that's who we are now. We're healthy. Okay, let's go do healthy things. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but if you are consistently changing your I am statements to align with who you want to be, before you know it, those habits, you're like, oh, where'd they go? I know, because I've done this myself for countless things. Number 2, this is really, really important. Identify your why. If you don't have a meaningful reason for making these changes, chances are you're not going to hold on to them for very long. For instance, most people say, I'm going on a diet, and it's usually tied to some event. I'm going on a diet because I'm going to a wedding and I got to look good, or I'm going on a diet because I'm going on vacation and I don't want people to look at me funny in my bikini, or whatever it is. And that's tied to external motivation that's finite in duration. And so if you look at nature, an elephant doesn't go on a diet. An elephant has a diet, and that applies to every other animal there is. But somehow humans have decided that doing the right thing is like this thing that you go on versus a way in which you live. And so I don't believe in diets. If it's not something I can sustain for the rest of my life, I don't entertain it, because I know that it's not natural to me, and I'm not going to be able to keep it up anyway. If your diet is, I'm only going to consume 400 calories a day, how long is that going to last? Not very long, unless you have the willpower of steel, and even still, that's not healthy. So again, we want to do what's healthy for us. If your goal is, I want to really focus on my purpose and my passion, then you have to say, I'm a person who's motivated. I'm a person who gets things done. I'm a person who doesn't procrastinate. I'm a person who is focused on the future. And so if you tell yourself that and assign positive emotion to these things, you're much more likely to make this a part of your life, because now that's just who you're becoming versus who you're trying to be. Number 3, this is important. Reframe and redefine the habits you're trying to adopt and the habits you're trying to break. For instance, we're going back to healthy eating because that's typically one that people grapple with at some point. If your challenge is you eat a lot of junk food, you eat a lot of fast food, stop telling yourself you love it. I would stop eating this, but I love it so much. Oh my God, it's so good. First of all, if it's bad for you, it's not good. Period. If it is bad for you, it is not good, because you are your star player. And your job on this earth is to give the star player whatever it needs to be healthy, happy, and successful. And so if you stop telling yourself that something is good, your brain will stop seeking it. I'll tell you why. From the beginning of time, man has been wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So when you tell yourself, I love something, this is amazing, this is great, whether it's good for you or not, your brain's like, I need that because that's good. That makes her feel good. That makes him feel good. So for the habits you want to break, tell yourself, I hate fast food. Fast food isn't good for me. I don't like eating fast food. I don't want to have anything to do with fast food. I don't even want to smell fast food. You tell yourself that enough, your brain's like, message received. I don't want it. I don't crave it. I don't need it. So on the flip side, if you want to get in shape, stop telling yourself you hate the gym. Number 1, why do you hate something that's good for you? Get to the bottom of that, because your job is to make you better and to give you what you need. So start telling yourself, I love working out. I love taking care of my body. I love doing what's right for me. I love the feeling of accomplishment after I have a great workout. If you tell your brain that, your brain's like, ooh, I want to seek that. I want to seek the good stuff because it makes her happy. So use your mind to your advantage. You are in control of what you tell your brain, but a lot of us just passively tell ourselves things that are not really helpful. So we're going to stop doing that. Cool? All right. Next, create new beliefs that are aligned with the person that you're trying to be. And so if you're trying to be a successful person, stop telling yourself, I can't do this, or I'm not capable of doing this. A successful person just figures out how to get it done, or they find someone who knows how to get it done and partner with them. You don't have to know every single thing to get to the end game. You just need to actively take steps to get there, whether it's learning, connecting with others who have already done it, and just putting in the time and effort. I promise you, the universe will give you whatever you need to succeed if you start putting one foot in front of the other. I have countless stories I could share with you on this and how effortless it begins to become when you flow with the universe instead of resisting. And remember, your mind, body, soul, your spirit likes when you do things that are good for you. Think about after a day of being super productive. You've knocked out everything on your to-do list. You exercised, you ate right, you're feeling good. Now think about the day where you knew you had things to do, but instead you sat on the couch all day, watching Netflix, playing on social media. How did you feel? You don't actually feel good those days. You feel guilty, you feel ashamed, and then it starts spiraling into you'll never be good enough. This is what I'm talking about. You couldn't even do the simple things you needed to do. That inner voice is a you know what, and it can really beat you down if you let it. But if you get control over that voice and actively tell your brain what you want to do, you'd be surprised how your mindset can change in a short amount of time. Be mindful and be intentional about what you're telling you about you. And lastly, create a system that makes it easy for you to win. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make all the time when they're trying to make huge monumental changes and shifts in their lives, they try to go from 0 to 100. And I don't know what kind of car you drive, but 0 to 100 takes some effort. It takes a lot of effort, and it's not sustainable. Instead, create a system for you to win. So if you've been out, you haven't worked out in 6 months, don't automatically think I'm going to go to the gym and work out for 2 hours every day, do 2-a-days. Come on. You might do that for a week, but this can be hard for you to sustain. But what if you have incremental progress and momentum that you can consistently sustain. So, hey, week 1, I'm just going to get off my butt and go walking every day. And just do that for 15 minutes. If you do it longer, cool, but you know you can do 15 minutes because then you can check off a box and you prime yourself for success because you're gaining momentum and you feel proud. If you set this big lofty goal at the outset and then you don't meet it, now again, you're back in that spiral of, look, you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even get on a consistent workout plan or whatever. That, again, that inner voice. So let's just not even give the inner voice a chance to be vocalized. Make it really easy. If your goal, I need to read more. I know I need to read more. I'm going to read 15 minutes a day. Everybody can carve out 15 minutes a day to read, right? And so once you start doing that, you gain momentum and you feel good. You feel good when you check off those things that you know you need to do. So again, we'll wrap it up. Number 1, decide and declare who you're going to be and that you're going to do what's good and right for you. Number 2, identify your why. Why are you doing this? What's the deep down reason you want to make this change? It's got to be meaningful to you. Number 3, reframe and redefine the habits you want to adopt and the habits you want to break. Stop telling yourself it's good when it's not, and stop telling yourself it's bad when it's good. Good? All right. Number 4, create new beliefs that are aligned with the person you are becoming. Number 5, create a system that makes it really easy for you to win. You don't have to climb a mountain overnight, but if you just climb a couple of stones, a couple of rocks every day, before you know it, you're at the mountaintop. So let's get ready for success. Give yourself what you need. Love yourself. Be compassionate with yourself and understand that everyone is going through this at some point in life, trying to do and be better to realize your goals. Take care. Have a great day.